What up, big dogs? Welcome to the muck hole. Alrighty, quick warning. This video will include mention of disturbing acts of harassment, humiliation, coercion, and physical endangerment. Some viewers may find the descriptions deeply upsetting, but I'm sharing this information to condemn cruelty and to speculate about how such behavior develops. The modern internet is a labyrinth of subcultures. Some corners build community and creativity, while others cultivate cruelty for entertainment. The term lolcow originates from the combination of LOL or laugh out loud and cow, and refers to a person who's routinely mocked for laughs. They're typically people who are deemed easy or safe by other people to mock. And crucially, the lolcow often doesn't realize that they're being made fun of. When you view a person through the lens of a lolcow, it becomes alarmingly easy to dehumanize them, and a significant portion of lolcows have developmental disabilities or mental health challenges, making them particularly vulnerable. Despite this, entire content ecosystems now revolve around documenting their behavior, laughing at them, and in the worst cases, actively tormenting them. In the following sections, we're going to discuss one of the most repugnant examples, a group known as the Kennel Kickers. They've terrorized several vulnerable individuals for content. While this is mostly sourced from the Kiwi Farms, especially the Wings 007 thread created by this user, and the Kiwi Tubers thread created by this user, the volume of evidence, including photos, videos, and screenshots of conversations, makes it impossible to dismiss these events as mere rumors. Before we dive into the specifics, it helps to understand the layers of participants in this culture. There's lolcows, which we just talked about. There's casual consumers or people who watch clips out of morbid curiosity, sometimes convincing themselves that they are checking in on the lolcow out of concern. Kiwi Tubers or lolcow content creators are commentators who summarize forum posts and upload clips of lolcows, often from Kiwi Farms without crediting the platform or the users, to larger audiences, and they effectively monetize the ridicule. These creators often only claim that they're simply reporting public behavior or calling out bad behavior, yet they amplify and normalize it. There's also users from communities like Kiwi Farms that compile every post and videos from lolcows or other internet figures on a site that stays relatively isolated in comparison to websites like YouTube. And then there's A-logs, the bottom feeders of the ecosystem. They go beyond laughing. They cultivate relationships with lolcows to actively provoke and torment them, in which they act as friends, romantic partners, business partners, and more. They orchestrate intricate harassment campaigns and manipulate vulnerable people into humiliating themselves. Most people likely agree that A-logs behave in ways that are worse than the people they mock. Now let's move on to talk about the Kennel Kickers. They emerged as a small Discord community of A-logs whose goal was to torment so-called lolcows and broadcast the results. The dynamic within the Kennel Kickers was one of escalating cruelty. Members egged each other on to devise more humiliating punishments for their targets. We'll start by covering their victims. The most disturbing story, in my opinion, involves Bill Chaffen, an older man described as nearly blind, living alone in what appears to be low-income housing, and having intermittent explosive disorder. Forum posts portray him as mentally impaired and desperate for companionship. The Kennel Kicker seized on these vulnerabilities and turned his life into a spectacle. They straight up systematically abused Bill over many months. Video and audio evidence, much of it leaked by former insiders, shows a relentless campaign of coerced humiliation.
Y'all think that anybody's a pedophile when y'all fucking
Hold on, wait. No, I got a serious question. Like, is iCarly a spinoff of Drake and Josh?
I guess.
I'm just trying to clarify it because, like, that was so long ago, Bill, and I was the demographic of a young teenager for that show of Drake and Josh back in that. But, like, you know, I didn't even watch that shit. I thought that was for little kids.
You thought it was for little kids?
Yeah, but you were in your 20s watching that shit, jerking it to it, so I don't know, man.
I didn't jerk it off to that crap, you fucking loser. You try to put everybody in a goddamn category and it's not fucking funny, dude. It's not cool.
You put yourself in that category, Bill. I didn't do anything there. You kind of sorted yourself for us.
Well, I'm not your fucking friend.
The Kennel Kickers members convinced Bill to join Discord calls several times per week for an extended period of time. They claimed to be his friends and coerced him into degrading himself, chanting self-deprecating phrases, exposing himself on camera, and enduring marathon live streams to earn their approval. These sessions exploited his vulnerabilities and established a power dynamic where obedience was rewarded with attention.
I'm getting drunk over here right now.
Oh shit, you're drinking, Bill? Let's fucking go.
I'm drinking those Seagrams.
Oh fuck yeah.
Bill, I know we're good friends, you and me, Bill, but I've never been more proud of you.
I drank several of them tonight.
My entire life, just the best day of my life.
Is this my dog Bill in here?
Yeah.
Oh, 007. I uploaded it on YouTube, by the way. Whenever you're Bill, turn your camera on, Bill. I need to see you right now. I'm just so.
No.
I'm just so proud of you. I really am.
Bill,
Bill, turn it on.
You have a nice blonde woman in here begging you to turn your camera on. She wants to see what you're looking like. Come on, this could be a good opportunity for you.
They also convinced Bill to wear a dress while broadcasting himself on adult cam sites. They promised him donations and camaraderie, but used the footage to ridicule him. Because Bill's blind, he likely couldn't monitor who was watching, making this an extreme invasion of privacy, and he looks extremely uncomfortable in the footage. In one of these fucked up calls, Bill was pressured to tase himself as penance for behaviors that the Kennel Kickers deemed as infractions. All the while, the group howled with laughter. This demonstrates the sadistic pleasure that these sickos derived from this pain.
Bill, relax. Just put your phone up so we can see it. Listen, Bill, I've gotten tased before. It doesn't even hurt. It literally feels like nothing. It feels like someone scratched your leg.
Okay.
All
yeah,
right.
so you might as well tase your balls.
All right, Bill, show us where you want to tase yourself.
Okay.
No, not well. Okay, you gotta do it on the
You
skin.
can't
Bill. You can't
tase
you can't
yourself
do it
through
on
your jeans. That's bullshit.
Right. Yeah, you can't do
Your
that.
bare
Bill.
arm.
You know what's bullshit is you, Mike. That's
You know
what's
what? You know what
bullshit.
you are? A pedophile.
You know what
Getting
you are?
baldy, you might.
You're a mom
He's not
sucker.
doing this quick enough.
You sucked off
I'm
your
getting
mom.
bald. Bill, you better hurry up. I'm getting bald.
Bill, just tase your arm. Bill, it's so simple. Just tase your arm. It's probably the best place anyway.
It's gonna fucking hurt like fuck, dude.
I don't
wanna
give a fuck.
Bill needs to get in the center of his camera.
Yeah, Bill, move a little to the left.
You're
The other way,
right.
Bill.
The
The
other
way.
left.
There you go. Yep. Right there. Perfect. Go ahead, Bill. And remember, once this is
All right, now you guys promised him.
I promised to leave you alone, but you're still a sick pedophile.
again presented by 007 Big Money Gang. Bill, are you okay?
Can you stand up for us, Bill? I'm not going to ask you to do anything else. Just stand up. Let us see you're all right.
There's also leaked clips that shows Kennel Kickers members discussing sending Bill a pink microwave filled with crickets. When he opened it, the insects infested his small apartment.
Are still crickets in Bill's apartment. I can confirm that there are crickets in Bill's apartment still. I would say about 15 to 20 of them.
Then they tricked him into leaving his shoes outside and stole them while blaming his neighbor, laughing as he believed the lie. This was especially cruel given Bill's near blindness and limited mobility.
Let's find out what happened to these shoes, guys.
Bill, are your shoes still outside?
You gotta check. You gotta see. No. What?
They're not there.
They're gone.
No way. What?
The Kennel Kickers members also posted a Craigslist ad at Bill's address that offered free electronics. In Bill's own words, a stranger showed up and demanded a laptop. They pulled a gun when Bill refused, so he attempted to close the door, in which the perpetrator pushed back, leaving him with a giant gash above his eye that required stitches. He later said that he was terrified and considered calling the police. Forum users noted that the Kennel Kickers orchestrated the ad to scare him, showing reckless disregard for his safety. On top of that absolutely horrific event already occurring as a direct result of their actions, shortly after the assault, Kennel Kickers members pulled Bill into a video call and convinced him to smear feces all over his arms, face, and his wound with stitches. Some accounts also say that they also ordered him to stick his head in a toilet and drink. They laughed and jeered as he complied. This moment, captured on video, triggered widespread outrage.
Dirt or whatever. You know, you got wood pieces in here too. There's
As long as it
chunks
sticks to your
of wood
face,
in
that's
here
all that
as well.
matters. Go ahead and give it a big whiff. Just tell us how it smells, Bill.
Like dirt.
All right, so take what you got and put like a stripe on your arm, and let's see how good it is.
Okay.
Get in there,
Brother, I'm telling you, I've definitely made my share of let's say soil making.
Dude, this is gonna get everywhere, dude. I don't like this. I'm getting this all the goddamn floor, the carpet.
Well, focus
Nah,
on the
bro.
face, Bill. That's what's important here is the face.
The Kennel Kickers continued to harass Bill by facilitating constant door knocks and deliveries. They mailed him bizarre items, berated him in calls, and encouraged him to drink disgusting substances. Yet Bill remained cooperative, believing that they were his friends. His case underscores how vulnerable adults can be exploited by manipulative and malicious online actors. Bill looks to be around in his 60s, nearly blind, and living on a fixed income. He reportedly has intermittent explosive disorder and possibly other cognitive impairments. The Kennel Kickers exploited his loneliness, promising him friendship while degrading him. Their actions led directly to physical injuries, including the assault and convincing him to smear feces in his wounds, in addition to prolonged psychological harm. They humiliated him publicly, leaving a digital record that could follow him forever. The cruelty inflicted on Bill isn't merely trolling. It's a form of abuse and exploitation of vulnerabilities that would be criminal in many jurisdictions. Another victim of theirs is Tyler. He's a 23-year-old who, according to Post, fell into alcoholism following the death of his mother. He became involved with online communities, perhaps seeking support or distraction. The Kennel Kickers invited Tyler into their Discord calls, where they encouraged him to drink on camera and dredged up painful memories about his mother. They would mock his grief, telling him to take shots whenever he mentioned her, pushing him to the point of tears.
Tyler, how's your relationship with your mother?
Oh no. Oh no.
Here come the waterworks, boys.
Here comes the waterworks.
Take a drink of your Milwaukee's best, dude. You deserve one.
By knowing that my mother's passed away, dude. Y'all think that's funny, dude?
It's funny because I still didn't have a mom.
Are you gonna cry? Are you gonna cry? You just have a bleak outlook.
Your dad's just fucking palming the back of your head while he's giving you back shots.
Tyler's vulnerabilities, youth, addiction, and bereavement made him an easy target, although the Kennel Kickers reportedly found his reactions boring in comparison to Bill's, which is perhaps the reason that they didn't subject him to even more extreme cruelty. Nonetheless, repeatedly deriding a young man for mourning his mother in order to get him to consume more alcohol and engage in potentially dangerous behaviors constitutes psychological abuse, in my opinion. Research on cyberbullying notes that victims often experience depression, anxiety, negative self-talk, headaches, and sleep disturbance. These harms are compounded when grief and substance abuse are involved. Pushing Tyler to drink potentially exacerbated his addiction. This would increase the risk of health problems and accidents. Blame Katie is a third victim. She's a small creator described as a wine mom. She covers various drama topics. During one of her streams, someone in her chat wrote that Wings007 is a pedophile, and Katie read the message aloud without context. This apparently enraged Wings007 in a circle. They launched a harassment campaign that included spam comments, insults, and doxing.
I was terrified. My moms were getting doxed. My grandparents were being door knocks. I mean, it was crazy. I needed help, okay? I just didn't know what to do.
It's also been speculated that the Kennel Kickers orchestrated the initial message being sent in order to get her to read it, just so that they could justify harassing her. Even though Katie isn't as vulnerable as Bill or Tyler, the harassment she faced was undeserved. Rather than correct the record, Wings007 and his allies chose to intimidate the small creator. According to forum posts, Katie may be pursuing some sort of legal action. Her case exemplifies how casual viewers and content creators can become collateral damage when they inadvertently cross a toxic group such as this. Now I'll share some details about some of the monsters behind these absolutely heinous actions. In my opinion, these losers should face the fullest extent of the law. And while I don't condone harassment and doxing in the slightest, I can't say I feel bad about the karma these disgusting dirtbags are currently receiving after nearly all of them have been doxed. Although I also won't be satisfied until they face legal consequences. Cinemaz was a prominent organizer within the Kennel Kickers. He hosted many of the Discord calls and streams where abuse occurred and helped orchestrate harassment campaigns. He's a failed rap artist who is ironically being door-knocked by strangers looking for a free PlayStation 4, a tactic that he regularly used with others. But instead of answering the door himself, he has his mother do it.
Like I think I'm sick and tired of these motherfucking lessons, and I'm steady trying to duck all this line depression.
When the abuse of Bill Chaffen became public, Cinemaz deleted his stream archives and went into hiding immediately, and later tried to distance himself by claiming that he wasn't present during the manure incident, as if that was the only incident in their extended torture campaign of an innocent man. He ran the Discord server and couldn't be plausibly unaware of what was happening. Additional posts reveal that he moderated for Ethan Ralph, a streamer infamous for domestic abuse and other misconduct. Even as Cinemaz pretended to be an advocate for victims. Combined with his alleged role in nearly all of the group's operations, these details paint him as a hypocrite and a coward who encourages cruelty but hides when confronted. Marx, or Marx the Noob, is portrayed as a loud, combative loser who thrives on conflict and served as an attack dog for the group.
Like, your community is very weird, and a lot of them are spineless. Spineless as fuck. Like, I go in there and they're like, well, why are you doing this? Well, stop me. The fuck? Stand up for yourself. You think that I'm hiding, or I removed my content because I'm afraid. No, you fucking it.
He's reportedly over 40 years old and has been charged with possession of meth and comes from a family tree comprised of criminals. He remains a Kennel Kickers loyalist and helped orchestrate harassment campaigns and encourage extreme actions. But posts note that strangers are now door-knocking his residence and delivering manure bags as retribution for Bill. Older reports about his hypocrisy include that he would moralize against other trolls for grifting, yet engage in the same behavior when it suited him.
100% a grift, and I will continue to grift. I don't care. I don't care. If you want to throw money at me to play bad video games and yell at me, I'm gonna.
And he reportedly celebrated doxing as fun and funny. He also labeled critics as pedophiles, and gloated that they would receive home visitors, implying that he would dox them. Ironic now, huh? And then there's Wings 007. He's regarded as the primary ringleader of the Kennel Kickers. He orchestrated most of their harassment campaigns and had enough clout to dictate the group's actions. He has his own dedicated thread portraying him as a prolific highlight channel operator who gained quick fame by clipping Wings of Redemption's meltdown starting in August of 2021. However, by 2022, his reputation nosedived. Back then, he was accused of stealing clips, being a nuisance in Discord servers, instigating infights, and in a leaked conversation, threatening to swat critics by leveraging a friend in cybersecurity. That's some real
"my dad works at Microsoft"
type shit. This pattern of escalating aggression foreshadowed his later behavior. Within the Kennel Kickers, he reportedly plotted many of the humiliating stunts inflicted on Bill Chaffen, and harassed Blame Katie. He's also been labeled as a deadbeat father and a drug dealer who failed his own rap ambition, similar to his good old buddy Cinemaz. When Bill's abuse was exposed, Wilkins suspiciously deleted his stream archives of Bill but has been screaming into the void in livestream chats and Twitter. Even his leaked recordings show him laughing at Bill's torment. He maintains multiple alt accounts and remains active on platforms like YouTube and X, where he threatens to pull up on critics. I think this guy deserves to be behind bars. Straight up. Zycros is described as an affiliate of Wings 007. Who helped boost his streams. He's labeled as a failed streamer or podcaster. He apparently fell out with Wilkins and was phone booked by him, meaning his personal information was spread, forcing him to go into hiding. His disappearance underscores how volatile alliances with the Kennel Kickers were. I also unfortunately saw this guy's tiny penis, but I'll spare you guys. Kaylee is listed as a Kennel Kickers loyalist and is compared to the infamous troll Isabel Janke. She reportedly participated in and coordinated harassment and is rumored to be Wings 007's Discord kitten. Most notably, she played a significant role in the harassment of Blame Katie, amplifying attacks against the innocent woman.
And that shows you why your family deserves to be doxxed over and over again, and they're going to be. Trust and believe. I am going to come at you, AC, with so much fucking force and so much fucking venom. Before you even wake up tomorrow, you're going to start seeing it fucking unfold all over your entire fucking life. That you're going to learn that you're going to get the fuck offline. And I promise you, I will not fucking stop.
Nicolina, or Nikki Blicky 777, is described as a deranged A-log and a small-time streamer who supports the Kennel Kickers campaigns. According to forum posts, she has 4 children by 4 different men and is now on her 5th husband. One of her daughters reportedly ran away to live with her biological father. I only bring that up because she allegedly uses images of dead children as profile pictures, sings songs about other people's dead children, and wishes death on other people's children in general.
Oompa loompa doobity-doo. TT is drunk and going to kill you. Oompa loompa doobity-dee. TT has to beg for 20 fucking G's. What do you get with an alcoholic mother? She kills her children because she's in a slumber. Oompa loompa doobity-doo. Bitch, I'm fucking coming for you.
These details illustrate a pattern of cruelty and moral bankruptcy that fits the Kennel Kickers ethos. The Kennel Kickers might have continued tormenting vulnerable people in obscurity were it not for a few people within and around their circle. This was all sparked off by an anonymous user on the Cyrax subreddit. And they eventually made contact with a Kiwi Farms user going by Most Wanted Banana to dump everything that they knew about the Kennel Kickers. Around the same time, other insiders recorded Discord calls within the Kennel Kicker server and released them once they realized how dark things had become. These leaks triggered a flood of information including Bill's assault, the manure smearing call, and the cricket microwave into the wider community, fueling outrage across the Kiwi Farms and Reddit. While the leakers' motivation may include spite or self-preservation, without their actions, we might never have known the full extent of their abuse, and we still might never know. Understanding the Kennel Kickers requires more than recounting their sins. We can explore why people form groups that collectively engage in this type of cruelty. In operant conditioning, reinforcement is contingent on a response, and when a response is followed by reinforcement, it tends to appear again and again. The environment shapes behavior through consequences. If an action yields a reward, the action strengthens. If it yields a punishment or no reward for an extended period, it weakens. Reinforcement doesn't just establish a single response. It builds a behavioral repertoire through a process similar to natural selection, and it maintains long after the initial learning process occurs. In the case of the Kennel Kickers, the reinforcer in their digital environment was social clout and their group laughter or support. Each time a member concocted some new torture method, the group and the audience rewarded the member with praise, laughter, and attention. This positive social reinforcement made increasingly extreme acts more likely over time. When Bill Chaffen smeared manure into his wound on camera, the immediate feedback of hysterical laughter and other reactions acted as powerful reinforcers. Similarly, the expectation of shock from an audience functions like a variable ratio schedule, a reinforcement pattern that produces high rates of responding because the reward is unpredictable. The unpredictability of the target's reaction, such as the duration and intensity of the reaction as they soon reliably understood what would set him off, kept members engaged. They never knew what stunt would yield the most drama. Meanwhile, punishment for cruelty was absent or delayed. Being anonymous and using pseudonyms shielded members from immediate consequences. The absence of punishment is itself a form of negative reinforcement. By harming someone under the cloak of anonymity, losers like the Kennel Kickers can escape accountability, which makes them likely to repeat the behavior. When the leaks finally exposed them, the sudden social backlash served as belated punishment, leading some to delete their accounts and disappear, except for Wings 007. Unfortunately, by now, the abusive behavior has likely become habitual. They require legal intervention at this point. People often imitate other members of their herd because doing so confers social advantages. In the Kennel Kickers, new members learn the social norms by imitating more senior A-logs. If a new recruit devised a cruel torture method, they were rewarded. If they hesitated, they risked ridicule or expulsion. This peer pressure likely created a reinforcing cycle for the group. To belong, one had to be cruel. Cruelty then became the currency of belonging. Social behavior arises because other people are part of an individual's environment. Actions persist when they're reinforced and fade when reinforcement is removed. Anonymity alters social contingencies. Pseudonyms and avatars shield an actor from the punishing consequences that normally suppress cruelty, while group laughter and attention serve as positive reinforcers. In the Kennel Kickers Discord calls, humiliation and pain were rewarded with laughs and status, and there weren't punishing consequences, so abusive acts became more frequent. And once the leaks introduced the punishing consequence of public outrage, some members vanished. When one member of a group behaves in a certain way and is reinforced, others in the same situation are subject to the same contingencies and tend to behave similarly. In other words, imitation and group conformity arise from shared reinforcement. In the Kennel Kickers, cruelty became the currency of belonging. Each humiliating stunt was rewarded with laughter and status, encouraging others to imitate and outdo each other. New recruits learned quickly that the way to earn attention was to devise more degrading punishments for their targets. By repeating and amplifying each other's acts, the members built a culture where human dignity mattered less than the next punchline. How do you rub shit in the wounds of a beaten man? You have to be desensitized.
Dude, I'm desensitized. I'm a piece of shit. I torture people.
By spending thousands of hours watching and facilitating the suffering of lolcows, Kennel Kickers had effectively extinguished their natural emotional reflexes to human pain. To them, the sight of Bill Chaffen bleeding didn't elicit pity anymore. It elicited content. They also used rationalization to disengage morally.
Fucking Bill is a dog-abusing piece of shit, as well as a pedophile. That's why he watched iCarly with his dick in his hand.
People use verbal formulas to justify behavior that would otherwise be socially punished. The Kennel Kickers tell themselves,
Bill is a lolcow. He chooses to be online. We're just exposing his anger issues. He deserves it because he's creepy.
These verbal labels often act as shields against the aversive stimulation of a guilty conscience. Research on cyberbullying's effects across the lifespan reveals that victims experience emotional, cognitive, and physical harm. A longitudinal study found that victims suffer feelings of humiliation, withdrawal, depressive symptoms, and negative self-talk. Middle-aged victims often develop anxiety, low self-esteem, and may turn to substance use. Older adults can feel judged and financially exploited. Bill Chaffen, as an older visually impaired man on a fixed income, fits this pattern. The harassment likely cost him money, deepened his depression, and social isolation. Tyler, as a young adult, may have experienced worsening substance use and depressive symptoms when the trolls mocked his already present grief. At a certain point, analysis doesn't matter anymore. What happened here was coordinated harassment, coercion, and real-world endangerment. When behavior crosses from humiliation into assault and psychological abuse, it becomes a legal issue, not just a moral one. Many jurisdictions criminalize sustained online harassment, particularly when it targets vulnerable individuals. Forcing someone to perform humiliating acts under threats of ostracism, mailing grotesque items, and facilitating assault through fake ads could all constitute criminal harassment. Bill Chaffen, as an older adult with disabilities, may qualify for enhanced protections, making the abuse against him more serious. Publishing someone's address without consent and encouraging others to visit is illegal in many regions. Fake Craigslist ads, for example, that lead to assault demonstrate a direct link between online doxing and real-world violence. Platforms need to take doxing seriously and cooperate with law enforcement. Blame Katie's situation illustrates how simple actions like reading a chat message can prompt harassment. If she pursues legal action, she could potentially sue for defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Similarly, Bill and Tyler could pursue civil suits for damages, although they likely don't have the resources or know how to do so on their own. Discord, YouTube, and other platforms have a duty to enforce their terms of service. Once evidence of coordinated harassment emerges, they should dissolve the offending servers, ban the perpetrators, and assist authorities. Now, regulations such as UK's Online Safety Act mandate that platforms protect users from harm. Similar measures could be adopted elsewhere. The phrase online trolling or cyberbullying often evokes images of harmless pranks or edgy jokes. But the Kennel Kickers show that it can descend into calculated cruelty and physical harm. They arranged for assault, coerced self-harm, and laughed as they convinced a disabled man to rub manure into his own wounds. To call acts such as these pranks or trolling would be a vile euphemism. This was group-coordinated and prolonged torture. There's no redeeming lesson in this horror. The only takeaway is that cruelty must be punished. When people send strangers to assault a nearly blind man, convince a grieving son to drink himself into oblivion, and harass a wine mom just making content for fun, they forfeit any claim to sympathy. The Kennel Kickers scattered when they were exposed, which makes them extra suspicious, but that shouldn't mark the end of the story. They deserve nothing less than the fullest extent of the law. Justice for Bill, Tyler, and Katie requires courts and a collective refusal to ever normalize such dehumanization. Ultimately, the Kennel Kickers story exposes the darkest contingencies of online culture. For Bill, Tyler, and Katie, this wasn't content. It was abuse and harassment. The only meaningful resolution is for those responsible to face the full weight of the law. Our role as viewers is simple. Deny losers like the Kennel Kickers the attention they crave, and insist the authorities do their job. Well, thanks for hanging out in the muck hole. I'll catch y'all later.